Alright, hello everyone. Let me see if I can, how big the live area is. Alright, hello everyone. This is Ariel Morgen, also known as Angel Ariel 999. Someone requested a reading and they gave me permission to share it with you guys, and actually this is kind of live and off the cuff. I will give a transcript version to my client after I give this reading. So, let's get started. This individual wanted to know, I actually had two questions. One was, I'm assuming, in general, her question is primarily of a financial nature. But, you know, it can be dual in a way. It can be taken in a dual sense. And I actually have a spread that I use for figuring out the querent significator. And in this spread, I can also figure out some of the major things that she may want to know. So, I'm first going to do a significator spread, or a significator reading. And you guys are going to have fun, because you're going to have fun with how I shuffle my cards. These cards are pretty old. They actually only cost $1. Let me see if I can adjust, just so I can get some more table to work from. Alright, so I already know that this individual is a female, so I'm going to lay out the cards according to season. I associate my cards with seasons, even though in this case it really doesn't matter, but it's what I do. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Water, fire, earth, air. So I'm first going to figure out what her significator is, and in addition to that, basically two questions. What is her significator, and what is the dominant, or what are the dominant things that she wants answered in the readings? So we're going to do that. So I'm laying out the cards until I get a matching suit. Now that's peculiar. Makes sense, but it's still peculiar. I get the Queen of Spades as her significator. And this actually indicates that she is, there are general physical attributes for each of the queens. But for now, I'm going to take a look at this particular card that fell on top of the Queen of Spades. And I see that the Four of Spades, it represents hindrance. It represents blockage or delays. So I'm getting that she's probably feeling frustrated from her situation. That she feels as though she's just unable to do that what she really wants to do. Queen of Spades is also a tired card. It's the card for one who may have been divorced or widowed. So you kind of have a mixture of many different things here. So now that we have a significator for this individual, I am now going to reassemble the deck, and I'm going to keep the Queen of Spades out. And I'm going to do a Celtic cross reading, And the question is, her question is, how will she be able, what are things and steps that she can take to become more, to attract more abundance in her life? So her question is, I'm going to say it again, what can she do? What steps can she take, and what can she do to attract more abundance in her life? Okay, so what covers her is the Three of Diamonds. What crosses her is the Jack of Spades. And then the way I lay out the Celtic cross from here on is a little bit unorthodox, but I prefer flowing rather than a flowing way of laying everything out. So we have her root, or what's beneath her, what grounds her, what is passing behind her, what crowns her or her crown, and what's approaching her. Next, I want to lay out the staff, which is, her sense of self, or things from her perspective, her world. Next will be those outside of her, how other people view her, her environment, her wishes and her desires, and the outcome. I'm going to readjust so that way the entire spread is seen at least somewhat. This is probably as far as I can go without totally losing view. Alright, so this part of this reading, this cross, is usually considered the heart, and this is called the staff. The heart represents more so the internal aspects of things, what is the root causes of things. Meanwhile, the staff is represented as the practical applicability of what's going on in the heart. So we'll start with her card. The Queen of Spades is covered by the Three of Diamonds, and the Three of Diamonds, it actually represents financial growth. Not really a ton of abundance, but it shows that right now she is in a state, on a financial sense, she might maybe have a part-time job, because that is, Three of Diamonds is indicative of that. Or in general, she just feels uncertain, insecure, fickle. Those are some of the key terms for the Three of Diamonds card. And she's an heir. Here she's represented as an airy queen. And Queen of Spades is representative in the air suit. So that means that in general she has a lot of mental things, has a lot of mental thinking type of, everything will have an undertone of thought throughout the reading, or should have an undertone of thought throughout the reading. Now, what crosses her right here, just to emphasize, this is what's covering her, the Three of Diamonds. And this is what crosses her, the Jack of Spades. Now, the Jack of Spades typically means the thoughts and feelings of the Queen of Spades, King or Queen of Spades. So I'm viewing this to mean that her own mentality, her own thoughts, her own, a lot of what's preventing her from doing things is particularly from her, literally from her own mind or perspective, her own thoughts. If we were to take it as an actual person, we could also say that there might be a person in particular who either I can't really say too much on that note because I don't particularly see any, well, maybe. Another thing to keep note, a king or queen and a jack means a friend coming back is a common rhyme for remembering. So it could also represent especially with the Jack of Hearts above her, represent a friend or an influential person also perhaps sticking their nose where they had no business sticking in, and maybe planting thoughts or whatever. Ironically, the same opposite is true, that another person of a similar nature who's probably a friend or an associate would also help her. We have on what clowns her is the Jack of Hearts. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So first let's start with the root. Ironically and interestingly, the card that fell in her root position, or what grounds her position, was the exact same card that fell on her in her significator reading. There is some serious immobility, whether it be from sickness or just in general, just feeling as though things are stalled, feeling tired. Energy is a factor. So, it shows that while she's looking for abundance, she's looking to maybe, I'm seeing indication over here of both travel and maybe even starting a new business, or changing up her business somehow, but I'll get to that in a bit. Her own, conflict, there's more so conflict on her part internally that's keeping her where she's at right now. Something else to make mention, since she's covered by the Three of Diamonds and the Jack of, I'm looking at suit interactions within the her significator, what covers her and what crosses her. I see financial problems as well. She does not perhaps have the finances to actually start up and jumpstart some of her, business ideas. Anyways, what's passing her, we have the Eight of Hearts. This shows that, Eight of Hearts is more of a group card. It shows commitment, it shows love, and all that is primarily commitment, if anything, a sense of familiarity. So, I'm seeing that on one hand, perhaps her circle is changing, her circle has changed, and she's moving, beyond that. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm not really sure I can say anything about family-wise, based upon this card. That's not jiving as well with me. But I'll stick with that for now, and I'll get back to it. What's approaching her is the Nine of Clubs. Now, the Nine of Clubs represents distance. This is why I mentioned that she might end up going on a trip or a journey in the near future that might help her in her shifting her, either changing her business, because the Ten of Clubs, which is located over here, and the staff, can represent changing up on changing a business or changing a job or whatever. But it's also a trip card with a journey card, which is Six of Spades or Nine of Clubs. So I do see that she will end up going on a trip, or perhaps, I guess that answers the other part of her question, whether or not staying at home is beneficial towards her goals, and I would say no, it is not. Especially since we have this stuckness here that's preventing her from moving. A journey or a trip or a change in scenery or a change, just a general change would be great for her at this point. But anyways, Nine of Clubs would mean a journey or distance, or journey in this case, because it's acting at, oh God, forgive me, I'm totally about to go go, what's the word? I'm about to go linguist / grammar Nazi. 9 of clubs in this position acts as a verb, not an adjective or noun. Anyways, actually, that it ends on a club shows that she's, with this, spadesy thing right here. It shows, not spadesy, the literal is problems, financial problems. It actually somehow traveling or an opportunity to travel or journey or get outside of her normal comfort zone will actually help her to get out of her rut. It won't be a solve, a telltale answer type of deal. A cure-all is what I'm looking for. But it's a step. And then I've already mentioned briefly that the crown is the Jack of Hearts. Now that can represent a son, someone who she may love or care for. Give me one moment. I'm getting a couple of different associations with this. One of the associations, which I'm not Christian, I just know this from my reading and studying. One of the associations with the Jack of Hearts is Christ or Jesus or whatever. So I'm wondering if a sense of sacrifice in general is what she's missing. Perhaps she is not taking the necessary risk. If you add that with the concept where she's stuck, this is where, if I were to use tarot cards, it would probably show the Fool in the wish section, but I digress. Not taking a sense of risk, taking the necessary risk to go out and make the changes that she needs to is probably what is hindering her, and her crown is recommending to take risks. It's also, I'm not entirely sure how her son or how her boyfriend might maybe they have an idea, which I can do a second reading to clarify, get clarity on this. It might be some ideas, something. She probably needs to kind of listen to whoever's trying to be optimistic to her at the moment, but she might be pushing away for whatever reason. I only say that because of the spades. Spades and hearts represent a conflict between emotion and mind. So she might view them to be conflicting or rubbing up against her, but they're probably actually trying to help her. Actually, with this heart, we only have 3 hearts in this spread. It's likely to be a family member who is probably going to provide the encouragement or the the ideas or the like. All right, so let's move to the staff. Her world is represented by the 7 of Hearts. So, with 7 of Hearts, in tarot, it wouldn't be too great to have that there. But this isn't tarot. This is playing cards. There are overlaps, so I will give both perspectives because, once again, there are overlaps. So, the cartomantic overlap here. The 7 of Hearts represents restoration, rest, a second chance. That's a big one here because we also have the 7 of Diamonds. Right now she probably is recognizing that I'm not sure if this will be in the future or if this is now. She'll probably be presented with an opportunity to make more money, to jumpstart and go outside of the boundaries and get out of this spadesy aspect, get out of this rut. But she's not, for some reason, because since this is her environment, I have no choice but to really read this against her significator. She's not receptive or she's not being receptive to the opportunities that are actually around her that she, can use to get out of her rut. And I'm not entirely sure why. That's a personality reading, and I won't go there. But my point is, we also, like I said, a second chance, rest. Maybe another thing likely is that she just needs to chill for a bit. Which doesn't necessarily mean, maybe a vacation is in order, or a vacation trip is in order. Having to rest doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay in one spot, or stay at home. You can rest while also going to the park, or rest while also going out the country. Well, after, plane flights, you can rest while trying to go out the country. Even though I probably won't say that, out the country or a vacation outside the country would be helpful, or is what this reading is showing. I would more so think that with the 9 of clubs and the 10 of clubs is more so within her, either in a city or a neighboring city, but nothing too intensely far. Someplace that she can get to by train. Train. Train can be indicated by one of the by the club suits, but I'm thinking more so car. But I'm traveling by train. That's why I'm thinking train for fire. But anyways, so her that's from her perspective, and her environment. Those who are more so from the outside in, we have the 7 of diamonds. And the 7 diamonds actually represents, in tarot, it represents patience. And that's probably one of the main meanings that I use even in playing card. Alright, so back to the 7 of diamonds, getting back into the flow. So I would say that, once again, the 7 is because, 2 7s in general represent a change. And in this case, she has probably one of the best changes or opportunities for change stemming from within her environment. Not at home, but in general, just being able to see. I'm getting that the problem is more so with her gaining more abundance, gaining more finances through her job, has less to do with the opportunities not being there, but her actually seeing those opportunities. This is where her environment and how people perceive her is more so what this position, the 7 of diamonds rings. They are working in harmony. It's just for some reason she's not seeing it. Anyways, the 7 of diamonds can represent a large sum of money. Perhaps it's coming from, will actually come from an outside source, or the like, that will help to further jumpstart her business or her opportunities. Now, I'm saying business primarily because that's what's showing up. The 9 of clubs and the 10 of clubs specifically refer to a business, not necessarily a part-time job, even though I didn't make mention of a part-time job in the beginning, but more so than anything, the business and the 9 and 10 of clubs both totally encompass the 3 of diamonds concept of a small business. So yeah, that's that. So she will eventually have the money or have the finances to jumpstart her business, but she just needs to be able to recognize it. She needs to be a bit more adventurous, and she might want to, I'm not entirely sure, maybe children, something involving children or expanding something to children might be involved. If we look at the crown, Jack of Hearts can also represent, like I said, if this can represent your sign, it could probably also represent children to a degree. Back to the staff. So, and In the fears and wishes section right here, we have the King of Clubs. And, you know, this shows that one hand, the King of Clubs tends to be, I tend to relate the King of Clubs to being the common man. And when I say common man, I'm talking about the archetype for a guy who goes out and works 9 to 5, comes home, watches out for their kids, and then go out again. That type of common man. Or if we want to look a little bit further or abandon that archetype, we have a man who is extremely robust. A man who is has a potential to be a cheater, serious cheater, even though it's not just only related to the King of Clubs, but that card is more so associated with men who are who are unfaithful, or who are cheating, who are busy men, as Card Seer or Caphras or whoever has mentioned in their old blog stuffs. But so now we have a couple of things. So on one hand, I'm not even sure which one she fears. I'm not sure. Well, hey, she probably fears the cheating part. Every woman, to a degree, doesn't really fear, but they kind of are very leery about men cheating. So surely that's one aspect. But that kind of doesn't fit entirely with the reading. In a business sense, I would say that she's probably afraid of either someone having their hand in the cookie jar, assisting her, who wants to try to dominate her idea or plans, which that would explain why she would be hesitant towards accepting the advice of others or receiving assistance from others. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure, I bet she would love some assistance right about now. Love some a second pair of hands, ironically, to help her in achieving her goals. Now, right now, where things are headed, I tend to read the 9 and 10 of clubs together. She's about to enter an extremely busy period with regards to her business or her career or whatever. The 9 of clubs, it represents success, it represents business, it represents duty. But with that 10 of clubs, it's going to be a little bit heavy for her. And it's going to be frustrating. Well, not really frustrating, because we don't have any spades there. The only thing frustrating will be whatever comes from within her. If she can manage her inner cyclone, she'll be in a very good place. But everything, really, from what I can tell on my end, everything that she can possibly do is presented to her. She is aware, or is potentially aware, of everything that she can do to jumpstart her business. Granted, she's, like I said, that 10 of clubs can be, that's once again where tarot and playing cards overlap. It can represent stress. If you recall the 10 of Wands tarot card, it features a guy carrying 10 rods and looks like he's struggling. I have not seen a time when the 10 of clubs did not represent some sort of, time where like, whew, that was a lot of work. So she's got a lot of work ahead of her. Some help would not be a bad idea, whether it be from her son, a potential lover. Once again, I'm probably leaning more so towards family here because of that heart. The only 3 hearts in this spread. It's the Jack of Hearts, the 8 of Hearts, and the 7 of Hearts. Oh, I forgot to, which it doesn't, once again, even this version of the, once again, bringing tarot to playing cards, which, once again, it's an overlap. It's not separate. They're related. The 7 of Hearts can represent illusions, deception, something that, you know, you have your eye on, something you want and desire, but you don't really want or desire. But even so, even with the illusions, we still have the same concept where, you know, with her suit, her significator being the spade suit, with her significator being in the foundation, and when I say in her card suit, the spade is shown 3 times in this spread, in what crosses her and what grounds her. With that being her, you know, what we can say her, how she looks at the world, the lens through which she looks at the world, she's not going to see eye to eye with that which is in her environment. So that, I think, to answer, well, technically her answer, if she were to ask me, so how can I specifically work on my business? I'd be like, everything that you need is literally within 10 miles of you, probably. You just really need to be adventurous, open up, and take a look especially in your immediate environments, because you're getting tunnel visioned, or you are maybe need glasses. Something's not right with how you're perceiving your environment, and that might require a bit of awareness, thought awareness, or meditation would help with that. Now, when I say meditation, I'm thinking more so awareness. Anyways, so that's this Celtic cross reading, or Celtic cross reading. I'm now going to, just to kind of see where things line up, I'm also going to, I'm also going to line a a 9 card spread out, and we're going to see if perhaps I'm going to further ask, what specifically is she missing or is she overseeing in her environment that she can utilize to further jumpstart or gain more money through her business? So that's the question the answer that I'm looking for at this 3x3. So I'm going to say it again. What specifically in her environment that she is overlooking can she utilize to jumpstart her business and or gain more money or abundance? Cool deal. Now look at that. Of these cards, 2 of them popped up again, and y'all saw how much I shuffled. So, alright. Got some really interesting information here. We're going to start with the 9 of Hearts, which is in the center of the spread, but wedged in between the 10 of Spades and the 7 of Spades on the top and bottom. Now, the nine of Hearts represents, of course, the wish. It is the typical wish card. What is it that they so desire? Usually, if it pops up, that means that their wish will be granted. Woohoo! But, you know, because there are spades, you know, literally surrounding 1, 2, 3, three corners of it. Actually, you know, I interpret this as she'll have to get over some obstacles, particularly internal obstacles, because we have primarily spades, hearts. That means heart, literally the heart and the mind are at war here. So more so than anything, a lot of this is a lot of her, not once again like I hypothesized, a lot of what she isn't seeing is more so all mental. It's all in her mind, it's all in her head. It's something that she just has to wake up from. And, you know, that's Queen of Spades. Queen of Spades is tired. When they're tired, and I know, I was a Queen of Spades last 2 weeks ago, whenever my lower back was killing me. You ain't hearing any other stuff that's going around other than your own pain, gripes, and upsets. Anyways, back to the reading. The first thing that I noticed is the 10 of Spades and the 7 of Spades on the bottom. Now, that to me says that your desires are hindered or are not being recognized through to fear. So anything that you're afraid of, you might want to recheck that. When I say afraid of, like for example, in my business, in my giving people card readings, my fear is giving a crappy reading. I might want to look at that. Or my fear is not having, hypothetically, I am afraid of not having the materials to paint a painting. Then clearly, that which I need, that which I'm not seeing, is my fear, which is I need materials. I need to go out and I need to buy some stuff. In a similar vein, you might want to analyze what is it about your business that you're afraid of, that you are shying away from doing. Your fears and your frustrations are what are squelching your desires. Literally, 7 of Spades represent frustration. It also represents a turn for the worse. But we won't really analyze that as per se a turn for the worse because of the fluctuation. You have spades and hearts going on here, meaning heart and mind once again. So it's not really a turn for the worst internally, it's more so just flat out frustration. So by default, you might want to just sit down, get a piece of paper, and write down every single thing that you're afraid of with regards to why you're not taking the steps, a certain step. Let's say I want to open a studio. Why am I not taking that step? I say it's because of money, but what is it really that why am I really not taking that step? All right. The next thing that primarily jumps out at me, once again, the 10 of Spades. Hidden. Things which are hidden. We have confusion right on top of her as well. On top of the Queen of Spades, the client's significator, we have the 3 of Spades above it. It flat out means confusion, a third party, primarily confusion. I see a lot of not so pleasantness, I won't go into, between this little triangle here, or this little corner. This I won't get into via video. Now, we have the Ace of Clubs here. Opportunity is what I am, my mind goes to. Hidden opportunities. Basically, right now, I'm kind of looking at the first row as almost reflecting my question. Let's see here. Women's groups is one thing that I'm seeing that I'm not... Women is represented by the 5 of Hearts. The groups is the 10 of Hearts. Um, and I don't know what is up. Are you frustrated, mentally frustrated? Do you not feel like you belong with these people? Is what I'm seeing. Okay, let me back up. Once again, Queen of Spades, Jack of Spades is the thoughts of the King or Queen of Spades. Seven of Spades represent frustration. So your mind is in a frustrated state towards a particular group. Right above the Ten of Hearts is the Five of Hearts, which the Five of Hearts represents women. Well, particularly, just for now, we'll focus on women. Girls. So for some reason, I do see, even though you desire to reach out to these people, you're not mentally clicking with them for some reason. So I would look into what it is about working with women, working with girls that you feel a bit aversive or a bit reserved about. Next, if we look at this column altogether, you can say a school for girls, you could say an organization for girls, some sort of institution where it targets primarily women. Would be your a good place for you to start in trying to either jumpstart your business. Basically, an opportunity that you don't particularly recognize or see. Actually, I could help you out a little bit on that. And we can use the same spread that I used in the beginning to figure out where in your state or I'm in America. A lot of people I read for aren't in America, so I apologize in advance if I got your location wrong. I'll say state, province, or county, whatever. Where in that area you could go and key letters that would indicate the place in question. I could do that, but I'm hitting on 50 minutes for this reading, and yeah. So overall, the answer to the question is a women's group, or something involving women, an institution involving women that you are feeling very... You're not clicking with the group, even though you potentially can. It's not without lack of trying. Okay, maybe it is without lack of trying. I don't know. There's only one club in here. There's only one method of action, so I can't really say that you're really trying or not. So forgive me for saying that, and if it's offensive, but it's just true. All right, so that's just a flat-out emotional. That's nothing new that I haven't already mentioned. Yeah, that's not anything that I haven't mentioned either. So, really, I've pretty much exhausted this because I've already said what I was going to say. So, anyways, for now, I'm going to stop it here. Please give me some feedback as to what you think about the video, how you felt about it. Am I on track? Am I off the mark? And if feedback is welcome. Feedback is, oh my God, it is so welcome. If people gave more feedback, we'd all be happy people. Because we can better ourselves. We have a standard by which to better ourselves. Anyways, I digress. So I hope that you enjoyed your reading. Shoot me an email about looking for where this institution is located, and I'll assist you in that too. If you would like to purchase, viewers, if you would like to purchase a reading, actually, I'm giving out free readings until July 30th on a first come, first served basis. If you want to purchase a reading, you'll get priority. You'll get priority if you purchase a reading. But from here until July 30th, I'm offering free readings. You can, look into the good old description box for information about my website and where you can go purchase your reading. Also follow me on Twitter and on Facebook for regular updates, card, blog readings, experiments, etc., etc. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to the next card reading that I do. So keep a lookout.